What's up, guys? This is Education About Stuff, and in this video we're going to talk about functions. This is going to lay out the building blocks for our calculator project that we're going to be making in a few videos. So I've already started a little something here. This isn't really much different from what we did in the last video. What we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be taking a number from user input and then another number from user input and then adding them together. So it's going to be like a two-digit calculator just for addition. So take a moment, pause the video, type this out if you need to. But in the meantime, we're going to get started. So what a function is it's essentially what we've been working with already. It's a block of code that executes some kind of instruction, some kind of operation. What a function can do, however, is it can give you back a value. So if we're making an addition function, we can say, okay, I want you to add these two numbers together and give me back the result. Now in a function like main that we've been working in so far, it doesn't give anything back, in which case you type in void. So if you have a function and you type in, you don't want it to give anything back, you just want it to run some instruction and that's it, you can type in void and then it won't give anything back to you. However, if you want it to give you back a variable, in this case we want an integer, then you can do int add, and then in brackets we have our arguments. We want to add two numbers, so we're going to do int n1, which just means number 1, and int n2, which just means number 2. Then we put in our squiggly brackets for a code block, and there we go, we're all set. So because we put int at the front here, that means that this function has to return an integer, but we haven't told it how to do that yet, so that's where the red line comes in here. If we check it out, it says not all code paths return a value. So that means that it's saying, hey, you said that it was going to return something, but you didn't tell it what to return, so it doesn't know what to do. What we're going to do in that case is we're going to say int result is equal to n1 plus n2, and then return result. So what this will do is it'll just add n1 and n2 together and then spit out what the result is. Another way you can do this is to just do return n1 plus n2 and then call it a day. So I want to type this out. I want to put this in the console. So I already have this little message here. This is the addition of those two numbers. And then a colon. So we're going to do our plus like we've seen in previous videos. And we're going to put in add. And we're going to add together our two user input numbers, which are number 1 and number 2. Number 1 and number 2. I still have a red line here though because main is what we call static. I'm going to go into further detail about what static means later because it kind of ties in with more details on what a class is. But the gist of why we have this red line right now is because add is not static and we're using it inside of a static function. So whenever you use a different function inside of a static function, all those functions have to be static, all of them. If your function isn't static, like if I called another function inside of add here that wasn't static, I won't get an error. But because we're using add inside of static void main, add also has to be static. So we just type static in front, and then the line disappears. So if we run this, enter the first number, let's do 3, let's do 2,913. And we get 2,916, perfect. Let's try some negative numbers. Enter the first number, let's do negative 90, and negative 90 plus 90 is 0. Terrific, so it works exactly the way we intended it to. So I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe and thumb up, and leave any comments if you have any suggestions or questions.